Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So here we are with a session number 255 in which we are going to start learning about Mahmuz, inshallah. So let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As you have all covered in the previous few sessions, that any fi'l that has Hamza as its root letter, any fi'l that has Hamza as its root letter is going to be called Mahmuz, right? What is Mahmuz? It is on the pattern of Maf'ul, which means a Hamzated Fi'l. A fi'l with a Hamza in it is called Mahmuz. We have already covered three types of Mahmuz, which include Mahmuzul Fa, Mahmuzul Ain, and Mahmuzul Lam. What does that mean? If you see Hamza as your first root letter, you call it Mahmuzul Fa. If you see Hamza as your second root letter, you call it Mahmuzul Ain. If you see Hamza at your third root letter, you call that Mahmuzul Lam, right? So Alhamdulillah, we have already covered that part. Now we are going to just go over it formally so that we know that we have covered this topic. In the last session, we quickly went over how if Hamza has a haraka, if the first Hamza has a haraka and the second Hamza is sakin, the second will change into a letter that corresponds with the haraka. The second Hamza that comes, if there are two Hamzas together, understand it like this. If you have two Hamzas together and the second Hamza is sakin, the second Hamza is going to change into a letter that corresponds with the haraka. Actually, it should be into a weak letter that corresponds with the haraka. Does it make sense? For example, in word amana, when you see amana, how many hamzas are there? The word amana from family 4 has two hamzas, right? Do we read two hamzas when we say amanu or amana rasula? No, we don't, right? We read only one hamza, and the second hamza is actually has changed into alif, right? And this is as per the rule, okay? And we get our mad badal there, right? We amanu, we stretch it two counts, and this can be written like this, and you may have find it written hamza followed by alif. You may see a big mad on top of hamza, or you may see it with alif saghira or alif khanjariya. Is this clear to all of you? In Quran, if there is a hamza, there are two hamzas together. Second is sakin. The first has a fatha. You will combine it like that. If a first hamza is written with dhamma and the second hamza is sakin, what will be the corresponding letter? What will hamza change into? It will change into waw. Is it easy so far? I hope. If there is a first hamza and again the same situation, two hamzas together, second hamza sakin, first hamza has a kasra, what will you get? What will the second hamza change into? Yes, it is going to change into ya. Can somebody give me an example where they have seen hamza getting changed into ya? Iman, very good job. Very, very, very common example where you see your hamza got changed into ya, which is a letter that corresponds to kasra. In word ijad, when you see ijad, what has happened there? Is it a hamza that got changed into ya, or is it something to do with the weak letters? It is something to do with ilal bil qalb. It is wow. It is wow that got changed into ya, right? It's not hamza, but yes, there is a change. You are right. There is ibdal there, but that ibdal is a wow changing into ya. But here we are focusing, since we are learning Mahmuz today, we are focusing on Mahmuz. You are going to notice the changes are going to do with Hamza itself. Okay, and then there is, going to be some overlaps as well that you will see, inshallah. Okay, so how many of you have understood this rule so far? That you can see that there are going to be two hamzas, and in that case, when there are two hamzas that come together, you will notice that the second hamza has gotten changed into a letter that corresponds to the haraka of the first hamza. Okay, so just simple, easy, keep that in mind. Yes, Adam is an example of that, but here we are going to mainly focus on our af'al, inshallah. But yes, you're right, Rabia, that is an example of that as well. So now, then there is another rule that I would like you to be introduced to. This rule has to do with the hamza being sakin, and again, it's very similar to the first rule, but here you are noticing that now the letter before hamza is not hamza itself, it is any letter. You are seeing sahih letters before hamza, right? You are seeing all the sahih letters before hamza, like ra, and hamza is also sahih, but here we are concerned with any letter of Quran, okay, any letter of Arabic. So if the word is ra'sun, which means head, you may pronounce it, the Arabs may, write it like rasun, and they may read it as rasun as well. There is a permissibility of that. Okay, if something is like bu'sun, which is some kind of distress, so it can be, again, because there is hamza sakin, and there's the letter before it has a dhamma. You are noticing, what did hamza change itself into? It changed itself into wow. Zi'bun. Have you ever read this word zi'bun, particularly in Surah Yusuf? This word has been used, and this word denotes an animal. Who can tell me what's the meaning of zi'bun? Yes, it means wolf. So it can be zibun, because again, the hamza had a letter before it that was carrying a kasra, so it got changed into a weak letter that corresponds to kasra, and the weak letter that corresponds to kasra is ya, right? The weak letter that goes hand in hand with kasra is ya. The weak letter that goes hand in hand with dhamma is waw. Weak letter that is friends with fatha is alif. We all remember that, alhamdulillah. So far I think everything is super duper easy for you all, alhamdulillah. You guys are expert of this field, but it's just a review for all these concepts. Okay, so now you have something again, as we have introduced hamza as being subdivided into three categories, where it can be mahmuzul fa, mahmuzul lam, mahmuzul ain, like, right? And based on the haraka, based on the position of the hamza, you are going to name it, and you are going to subclassify it into three types, and then these three types can be seen in different abwab of salasi mujarrad. Okay, in Quran, if you find it written as hamza, you are going to read it as hamza. There was a question that, if there is something like ra'sun or bu'sun or zi'bun in Quran, if it is written with hamza, all these particular words are going to be recited as they are written. Okay, we cannot change them. Like, we cannot change yu'minuna to yuminuna, right? We cannot change. If we are following certain recitation, we are going to follow that recitation, and we are going to read it as written, right? For the most part. Is this does it answer your question, my dear sister? I think it was sister somebody asked yeah, alhamdulillah. So you are going to recite it as written. However, this is general rules that there's a permissibility, and it may not always be applied. When there is something that is allowed, it means that it may be there, it may not be there, right? You may follow the rule, you may not. There may be allowance of not following the rule either. Okay, so Keep that in mind. And in Quran, when it comes to Quran, you are going to read your word as you find it in Quran, okay, inshallah. So keep that in mind. Yes, there is a permissibility of yuminuna, but in our musaf we find it written as yuminuna, so we are going to only read it as yuminuna, right? So then when you were subdividing your mahmuz, in case of mahmuzul fa, you will find it in bab nasara, daraba, samia, fataha, karuma, okay. You can see the examples from all these different abwab: akala yakulu, akhadha yakhudu, amara ya'muru. And you have, you ever come across these af'al in Quran? Very many times. I know you are all the, people who are very, very involved in Quran. So these words, you have seen them in Quran very many times. Then from Daraba clan, you can see Abaka Yabiku, Asara Yasiru, Afaka Yafiku. And from Samia, Asima Yasamu, Alima Ya'lamu, Azina Ya'zanu. And from Fataha Alaha Ya'lahu. And from Karuma, Aduba Ya'dubu. And from Karuma, there is another one, Asula Ya'sulu. Okay, so keep that in mind, that all the words you may not see them in Quran, but in Arabic there are different abwab of family one where mahmuzul fa has come. Okay, so these are just few examples that I've put on slides for you all. Okay, so we will start with akhadha. This is again just I just have prepared a surf saghir for you all, and I know you already know this. So akhaza, it is it in this mahmuzul fa, are you noticing any change, any difference, anything different from nasara? Is this word being spelled any way, any by any way or form or shape different from how your normal nasara is? No, it's just simple, right? Very simple, very easy. It is akhadha. When you see ya'khuzu, any change? No, right? There is no change. Just like yansuru, ya'khuzu, right? When you see akhdan, nasran, it sounds like nasran, right? Same. When you come to ism fa'il, which is fa'ilun, fa'ilun, fa'ilun. So now you are seeing akhidun, and it is, do you notice anything different? Akhidun, fa'ilun, no change. Again, no change. And then when you look at your madin, mabni lil majhul, ukhiza, yukhazu, akhzan, ma'khuzun, you're noticing no change, right? No change. You all are with me? No one is sleeping in this class right now? I hope it's not too easy for you guys. It is too easy for you, but just we have to review it for the so that for everyone, we know that for those people who have never learned mahmuz, for them we have to go over this. Okay, so alhamdulillah. So now what happens in your felul amr? Felul amr is khuz. Felul amr of akhadha ya'khudhu is khuz. Do you notice what has happened here? Do you notice any change here? There is one hamza that got dropped, right? What was the expected felul amr in this case? Uhuz, right? Uhuz, right? You were expecting uhuz, that there will be a hamza tul wasal followed by hamza of the family with the sukoon, or it could have been uhuz, right? If there was a change, but we are noticing there is nothing that is there. I hope this is clear to all of you. This is how you are going to see khuz in Quran. The Failul Amr. This is something that you must know. Failul Amr of Akhada Ya'khuzu is going to come without any Hamza. Okay? There is no Hamza that is going to be there. And in this happens with some other words as well, and we'll go over it together. Fail nahi, you don't notice no change. Ism zarf ma'khuzun, it is just like maf'alun, right? Ism zarf, you're not noticing any change. In case of ism ala, Do you notice any change? Mikhazun, mikhazun, mikhazatun. Are you noticing any change? Did something happen to Mahmuzul Fa, when Ism Allah was created? So are you all, please pay full attention to your words, okay? So you are noticing here that there was a Hamza, right? There was a Hamza that was supposed to be here after Mim, right? There was a Hamza that was Mi Khazun, right? Like Misbahun, Misbahun, Misbahatun, right? Just like you have learned Mif'alun. But what happened to Hamza here? It got changed into Ya. It got changed into Ya. So there is a badal that happened, and you just learned this rule. You just learned this rule. There's a permissibility. There's a permissibility of Hamza for Hamza to change into harf illa corresponding to the haraka of the letter on the letter before. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Since the letter before Hamza was carrying a kasra, Hamza was sakin, there is allowance for Hamza to get changed into ya. So if you see this word in Arabic, this should not confuse you. What happened here? You should still be able to tell that the root letter can be possibly Hamza, Kha, Zal. Is this clear so far? Aisha, are you with me? Everyone got it? Alhamdulillah. So the rest is easy. And this is what you are going to see in case of Mahmuzul Fa. Because in Mahmuzul Fa, you will notice that, there is your foul kalima, which is Hamza, has come after a kasra. So um, um, I hope you are all with me so far. When you see akala yakulu, aklan, akilun, do you notice anything that is different here from nasara yansuru? There is nothing that is different. Again, you notice here, I have only put kul. When you come to felun nahi, there is no change, right? There is no change. La ta'kul, la yansur, and ism zarf is also ma'kalun, right? No change. Nothing that you are seeing that is different what you were expecting, right? When you will make a sarf sagir of this hamza kaf lam, you're going to just do it like that, right? The only thing, again, what you're noticing in ism ala, again, because this one is mahmuzul fa, there is an ibdal, absolutely correct term. There is hamza that got changed into ya. Why so? Because there was a hamza that is sakin and a letter before it was carrying a kasra. Is this clear to all of you? Alhamdulillah. So now there is certain rules again that you're going to see with certain families. And in case of Mahmuzul Fa, when it comes to Felul Amr, in case of Mahmuzul Fa, when it comes to Felul Amr, and this particularly from Nasara clan, the both of all that I showed you, Akhaza Yahuzu, Akala Yakulu. Were they both from Nasara clan? Absolutely, right? They were both from Nasara clan. What do you notice? Felul Amr lose its Hamza. In both these cases, Khuz and Kul. And this is particularly with these root letters. Okay? In Akhaza, Akala, what will you notice? Felul Amr is going to lose its Hamza and is going to be just written like Khuz and Kul. So if I asked you what will be the antum form of khuz, how will you find it in Quran? It is going to be khuzu, right? There is no hamza that is in this word. You will not find hamza in this word. But anytime you will be asked what are the root letters for khuzu, you should know they are hamza, kha, zal. If somebody asks you what happened to hamza, why is not hamza here? Your answer is in case of kul and khuz, which are from the af'al from Nasara clan, Felul Amr loses its Hamza. So Kulu is always going to be Kulu, and there is not going to be a Hamza before in case of Felul Amr of Akala Yakulu. Okay. When it comes to Amara Ya'muru, Hamza may or may not be there. Okay, Hamza may be there or it may not be there. If fail, fail is in the beginning of the kalam, if there is a fail, amara ya'muru and failul amr came in the beginning of kalam, it is more suitable to write it without hamza. It is better to omit hamza. For example, do you see here? Muru awladakum bis salati. You all command your children to establish salah, right? Is this clear to all of you? If you find imperative or failul amr of amara ya'muru in the beginning of kalam, you will notice hamza is not, it is better to omit hamza, to drop hamza. But if it is found, in the middle of the words, will hamza get dropped? Wa'mur, wa'mur. Two times you are saying فَخُذْهَا بِقُوَّةٍ وَأْمُرْ قَوْمَكَ. You are not seeing, you're seeing the Hamza. Hamza is there. Hamza is there, right? In case of Samiya clan, Hamza remains. Okay, there is no omission of Hamza in case of Samiya clan, and you can see the example from Quran. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ ذَنْ. Right? You are noticing Hamza remained intact because Azina ya'zanu, Azina ya'zanu. Where were they? Azina ya'zanu. Which clan and these root letters were coming from? They were coming from Samiya clan. They were coming from Samiya clan. So here you don't notice any omission of Hamza. How many of you are with me? How would we say it without wow? Oh, which one? You have to tell me. In this case, you are not going to start from anyways from there, right? So it is going to be umur, right? But let me tell you one rule that I have taught you, and it's coming. So just give me a second, right? So this one, right? You have learned in the rules of tajweed, right? This one you have learned in the rule of tajweed. If you have to start from this word, how will you read it? Because you can start from this one. You can start from this one. You are going to change it into from tajweed standpoint. You are going to read it as izan, right? Izan, right? You are again going to change it into izan. This one, you are not going to separate it from wow. It's going to be put together. It's going to be put together, but umur is umur is how you would expect to read it, but which can be umur as well. But here, there is no permissibility of that, as you will notice that you cannot separate it. Even you can never be asked to in your tajweed sessions to start without wow. You are always have to read it with wow, right? You cannot just separate, you cannot start you cannot do ibtida with ha, right? You cannot do ibtida with ha. You have to do ibtida with fakhudha, right? This is going to be against the rules of tajweed if you start ha bikuwatin, right? So similarly, wa'mur is going to be wa'mur, right? What we have covered is, yes, it is not the part of the word. It's not the part of the word, but it has to be written together. It has to be written together and read together as well. If you remember, when we were learning the rules of Hamzatul Wasl, do you remember? Once upon a time, we learned the rules of Hamzatul Wasl. The cases when Hamzatul Wasl is going to be omitted and is forgotten, right? For example, in Lil Muttaqina, nobody is going to read Li al Muttaqina. Nobody is going to ever start with Al Muttaqina, right? Right? But yes, and you can never, and yes, you can never start, with a sukoon. You always need a help of Hamzatul Wasl if the first letter is sakin, right? But there are cases that you have covered where Hamzatul Wasl is going to be omitted, and that by itself is going to tell you that you have to, going to start with for these words together. Like if this was there are certain cases where hamzatul wasl has been omitted because these words have to be together. You cannot, say wow, you cannot end with wow and start with hamzata, hamza sakin and ta, right? Though it is not the part of the word, but it is, there are cases when you but that we have covered, that if there is a wow or a fa, if there is a wow or a fa that is coming, if the hamzatul wasl enters filul amr salasi with hamzatul qata sakina, with hamzatul qata sakina, which is the case with mahmuzul fa, and the fail is preceded by wow or fa, there is omission of hamzatul wasl, right? Remember that this has been covered, and I'm going to show you examples from Quran itself as well, right? That when there is a va or a fa that enter a word that is hamzat, that is mahmuzul fa, and it is a filul amr of mahmuzul fa, there is a hazf of hamzatul wasl with waw and fa, no matter which family it is. Okay, how many of you are with me? And here your examples from Quran. You can see here, you know, you can see on the right side there is a column, on the left side there is a column, right? The similar words, Hamzata ya, are the words that you are seeing, right? When these words, there is no omission. Ata ya'ti, it is mahmuzul fa, it is mahmuzul fa, and it is naqisul lam. If you can see from the root letters, ata yati, right? Ata yati, mahmuzul fa, and naqisul lam. This word, when it is used as Felul Amr, you notice here, when the Felul Amr of this word was seen in Quran, Hamzatul Wasl is there, right? Hamzatul Wasl that is needed, is there. But if the same word is preceded by Fa or Waw, what happened to Hamzatul Wasl? It got dropped. So this word, can somebody ask anyone that if I have to start with Hamza, Sakin and Tas Kasra, how will I start? Do I need to worry about on this column? Do I need to worry about how do I have to start with these words on the second column? I don't think that is even a question, right? So I hope this is clear to all of you. But on this side, do you all understand how you are going to start your, how you are going to read these words? They are all going to be etina, right? If you join, you are going to read it like a hamza, but if you start from it, then you are going to change the hamza into ya, right? Change the hamza into ya, and this is something which is ibdal, and this is something that is allowed, right? And all these words, how will we read this one from Surat Yunus 79? How will this be read? Very good job, Afsha. It's again going to be ituni, ituni. But why are we not using the rule, the third letter rule here? The third letter rule, right? In yes, very good job. Because this dhamma on the ta, which is the third letter, is a dhamma arida. Therefore, we cannot we cannot give a dhamma to our to hamzatul wasl. This hamzatul wasl is going to be read with a kasra, because this dhamma that is on ta, which is the third letter, is a dhamma arida. These words are, there are 5 or 6 special words in Quran. For those who are not the students of grammar, for them it is always ikdu, imshu. So these are important words that people need to know, that you have to they have to memorize it, because this dhamma is an ardi dhamma. So they have to read hamzatul wasl with kasra, and you are all going to read this hamzatul wasl, with kasra, and also you are going to change your hamza into ya, right? Everyone, is this clear? Any questions so far? Okay, so if you see fa'ti, fa'ti, you know what happened to your Hamzatul Wasal, and this is Amar. And in this case, there is no omission of original Hamza of the word, but there is only an omission of Hamzatul Wasal because here we don't need Hamzatul Wasal, right? In case of only Nasara clan, you are noticing the original Hamza, which is Hamza of Faul Kalima, gets dropped in Felul Amr of Akhaza and Akala. And in case of Amara, Ya'muru, there is an option. Right? Is this how you have understood it? This slide, and this slide. It's very important because this is how you are going to practically apply all the concepts that you are learning, right? So I hope you're all with me. Then when your second root letter is Hamza, it is Mahmuzul Ain, and there are few examples that I have put there for you. Sa'ima yas'amu, and sa'ala yas'alu, it is sa'ala yas'alu, and then in karu, you can see it from karuma clan, raufa yarufu, okay, raufa yarufu. Yeah, this is, somehow my harakas are, I'm going to fix the slide again for you guys. So here you can see sa'ala yas'alu, you're noticing no change, right? Do you notice any change? Like, is it just like fataha yaftahu, right? Fataha yaftahu, right? There is no change. Su'alan fahuwa sa'ilun, su'ila yus'alu, mas'ulun. You're noticing no change, right? Now comes your Felul Amr, and let's talk about it at the end. But Felul Nahi, Ism Zarf, Ism Ala, you are noticing everything is just about the same, right? But when it comes to Felul Amr, it can be Is'al, it can be Is'al, and it can be Sal. It can be Sal. What happened here? I will tell you that in a second, okay? There are two Felul Amr forms that you are seeing on my slide, Is'al and Sal. You all can, I hope, see that. And what happened to this Sal, we are going to learn it in a second. In case of Abwab of Mahmuzul Lam, where the third root letter was Hamza, you can see that can come from Samia clan, Fataha clan, and Karuma clan. Remember, when it is Mahmuzul Lam, there are not many changes that you are going to see happening to Mahmuzul Lam. Okay, and Filul Amr of Mahmuzul Lam is just like Filul Amr of any of your, Salasi Mujarrad Sahih Salim families. It is not any different, right? Iqra bismi rabbika allazi, right? You notice not many different cases here, right? You don't notice many changes there. So keep that in mind. It's just the mahmuzul fa, which is little tricky. So when you are going to see the qara'a yakra'u in sarf saghir, you are going to see everything is as expected. Here I forgot to put my filul amr. It is ikra la takra makra'un, makra'un. Okay, and ism ala is also not changed. There is no changes that you are going to see ism ala in ism ala. So there is a rule that is going to come in handy, and that you must know. And I'm going to, in the end, summarize for you the rules that you need to know for Mahmouz. Okay, and those are the only main rules that you need to know. And for the most part, that's going to work for you very well, inshallah. Okay, so in case of you will notice you notice your hamza, how does it behave like? Do you see it behaving like some letters that we have just covered very just recently? Your hamza also undergoes a lot of changes. You notice sometimes it also behaves like weak letters. Do you agree? Right, it behaves like weak letters. If you have to find a letter similar to hamza, you will notice that it is it has great similarity with weak letters, right? Weak letters, your haruf illa and the hamza has they have lot of similarities, right? So let's see here what I have for you. You have this fail yes alu, right? You have fail yes alu. Whenever your hamza is mutaharrik and the letter before it is sakin, Hamza gives it haraka to the letter before and it is then deleted. You notice Yasalu. So it was originally Yasalu, and Hamza gave its haraka to Seen, which was Sahih letter and was Sakin letter, and then it got dropped. Okay. So when it comes to Sal, if you can all see on my slide, Sal was originally its Filul Amr form should be Is'al, right? Is'al. So, but what happened here? Using this rule, because of this rule, Hamza gave its harakat to the Sahih letters that was Sakina before it, and it became like this, right? It became like this. Now my first letter, now my Filul Amr has a first letter that is no longer Sakin. Do I need my Hamzatul Wasl? Do I need my Hamzatul Wasl? I do not need my Hamzatul Wasl anymore, right? Because my first sakin letter, because the first letter was sakin in case of is'al, that is why Hamzatul Wasl was inserted in that word. But now that my first letter, my first root letter is no longer sakin, I do not need Hamzatul Wasl any longer, and I'm just going to read it as Sal. And you and Sister Shaheen, I think, was it who's just gave, yeah. So Sister Rabia said, Sal Bani Israel, right? You have seen that example in Quran. So do you notice how things happen here? Then do you see yara in Quran? Yara, ra'a, yara, right? Thus, it is important to know 4 or 5 rules I want you to know. Okay, 4 or 5 rules will work for you. Only 4 or 5 rules you are going to learn in Mahmouz. The rest is going to be easy. I don't want you to, get overwhelmed by too many rules. I just want you to, just simple ones. Simple ones that are going to be applied so that you know what happened in the word. Okay, so in case of yara, you notice the original word was yar-ayu, right? Ra, Hamza, Ya are the root letters. It is Ra'a, Yar-ayu, right? Ra'a, Yar-ayu. So what happened to Yar-ayu? You don't see Hamza at all. Do you see Hamza at all in these af'al? You don't see. Though the root letter does have Hamza. All the time in Quran you're reading Yarawna, Ra Hamza Ya, Ra Hamza Ya. It's so hard sometimes for students to figure out, the root letters. For those of you who, for those students who, I'm not talking about you. I know you are all very, you read Quran, you know your root letters, but generally people have difficulty, right? That how come where is the Hamza? Hamza is never even seen in Yara. But what happens here is the same rule of Yasalu is applied. It is called the rule of Yasalu. Okay, let me okay, okay. So again in this word, what you are seeing is, sorry, this is, my not my computer. My computer got damaged because of I dropped water on it. So I'm using my other computer. So here again you can see the word yara. What happened here is Hamza gave its haraka to the raw, which is a sakin letter before, right? And it is dropped, right? So we ended up with yarayu. But you have recently learned something. Is yarayu allowed here? Is yarayu allowed here? What did you just recently learned? No, we cannot do that, right? So in this word, what happened? What are you seeing here? The ya is the ya has a harka, and the letter before it has a fatha, right? So the letter before has a fatha. So what will happen to ya? It is going to, what type of elal are we going to see here? Is it going to be elal bil taskeen or elal bil qalb? It is going to be elal bil qalb. It is going to be elal bil qalb, because now we are not reading ya anymore. We are reading it as alif, right? My ya is changing itself into alif. My ya is changing itself into alif. right? It yarayu became yara, right? So in this word, you are seeing a rule of Hamza. You are also seeing elal bil qalb, right? I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. And this word is so much used in Quran, you cannot skip this one. This one we cannot afford to not know, right? So let's see here. When I show you this word here, sorry. Okay. Again, ara yuri. Ara yuri. If I asked you what are the root letters for Yuri, how many of you know the root letters for Yuri? The root letters are Ra, Hamza, Ya, right? Ra, Ra, Hamza, Ya. So the original word in family 4 was Yur EU. It was Yur EU, right? Yur EU, what happened here again? Hamza gave its haraka to Ra and it became and it get dropped, so we ended up with yuriyu. And then in the end, when you have yuriyu, what happened here? What happened to the ya? The ya that is preceded by kasra or dhamma, the ya that is and that is mutaharik and is preceded by kasra and dhamma, what happens to it? There is an ilal bit taskeen or ilal bil iskan that has happened to word yuri, right? There is a rule of Hamza applied. There is a rule of Elal bit taskeen applied to word Yuri, right? Again, in word Yara, you are noticing, there is a rule of Hamza that has been applied, and also you are seeing Elal bil qalb, right? Subhanallah. So is this clear? Used to wonder how Hamza is skipped if it's the root letter. Now, will you wonder about it anymore? Now you will be the master of it and you're going to teach, inshallah, inshallah, many, 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 many. And you're going to tell them, okay, guys, let me teach you what happened here to Hamza. And it's going to be so much fun. We are going to have a lot of fun with Hamza, inshallah, right? So keep that in mind. These few rules, I think if you just know about them, they're going to make things easy for you, and it's not going to be too overwhelming, inshallah. Okay, so this was that, and then yeah, so this is all that I had for you, and now let's practice it on Quran itself. Okay, inshallah. So I'm going to again take you to the practice, and we'll do the same way as we have done before. Okay, inshallah. So they just I said before I end the session, I'm going to just tell you what are the rules that we are going to inshallah be more focused on, and inshallah we'll try to master everything, inshallah, as much as we can. Okay, so let's just start with ata. When you look at word ata, this word, okay, so this word has ata yati. What are the root letters? Start with the root letters first, and then we can come up Hamza, Ta, Ya. Now if I asked you, my dear students, describe this word, put a label on this word, like is it Mahmuz, is it Nakis, is it Ajwaf, how will you describe it? You are going to describe it as Mahmuzul Fa Nakisul Lam. Can you call it like that? Mahmuzul Fa Nakisul Lam, right? So the slides have this Mahmuzul Fa'i, Mahmuzul Aini, Mahmuzul Lami, just for the reason so that you also familiarize yourself with these terms, and it's easy for you to that this word is Mahmuzul Fa and Nakisul Lam and all. It's going to be super duper easy. Okay, so inshallah. So you can all, yeah. So Sister Shamim also that it is Mu'attalul Lam as well. That's another way of putting things. Yeah, yeah. Mu'attalul Lam, that is a weak, and then on the and because Nakis by itself is a weak letter at the Lam, right? When you say it is Nakis as well, it means that the third letter is weak. So it is more precise to say Mu'attalul Lami. Yes, Very good job, Sister Shimi, as always. Yeah. So here, when you have word fa'tu, you just went over this. This is, this word is, we are going to, let's just, it is Felul Amr. But what happened to Hamzatul Wasl here? I just want you to tell me what happened to Hamzatul Wasl here. Which rule? There is a hazf of Hamzatul Wasl because of fa, right? When harf at fa or waw are going to come before those salasi mujarrad af'al that are mahmuzul fa, you are going to notice that that hamzatul wasl gets dropped in that case. Okay, hamzatul wasl is going to get dropped. That is one simple thing that you need to know. Okay, let's see the fail with more. Let's see here. Okay, so now here you are going to see mainly the akhirat. So that's so here, what I be seeing here? Ta'akhara. We just did this word not too long ago. Ta'akhara. It is family 5, and this word is, we have just covered mahmuz in salasi mujarrad, but your mahmuzul fa can also be seen in your mazid fihi families. And here this is one of the examples where you are noticing an example of mahmuzul fa in your mazid fihi family, and you're going to notice that it's going to conjugate just like a normal letter. It's in this word you're not going to see any major changes at all. Okay, so it's going to be conjugating just like normal in any normal word. Okay, keep that in mind, inshallah. Okay, let me see something else that has been used as hmm. Okay, let's just pick this one, the easy one. So all of you are seeing here there is no hamza in case of and kulu, 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 kula. What is this kula? What is the sigha of this kula? If I have to ask you from sarf saghir, where do you get this word? It is going to be your Felul Amr, and this Felul Amr is for Antuma, right? It is Kul and Anta Kul and Antuma Kula, Antum Kulu, right? Anti Kuli, Antuma Kula, Antunna Kulna, right? Do you all remember that? Your, Felul Amr. Everyone should know. So this is your Felul Amr. And if somebody asked you, why is there no Hamza? The answer is, there are two root letters, Hamza Kaf Lam, Hamza Kha Zal from Bab Nasara. They lose their Hamza in Felul Amr. Okay? In case of, Mahmuzul Fa, there are two root letters, Akala Yakulu, Akhaza Yakhuzu. When these Felul Amr from Nasara clan are used, and they lose their hamza. Their hamza is not written. They lose their hamza in case of Felul Amr. Kul, kula, kulu, kuli, kula, kulna. Right? For noon is for noonun niswa, just like your kul, kula, kulu, your kuli, kula, kulna, right? You all say. So the noonun niswa is going to be used in case of your antunna, kulna. Is this clear, Afsha? Oh, fa'tu? In case, oh, you are asking about fa'tu. I'm so sorry. Afsha, I purposely skipped it. I purposely skipped it because it is nakis as well. So we are going to cover it with nakis together. Okay. Once we are done with nakis, we are going to open up its filul amr, right? So that's why I purposely skipped that one. Okay. So one important word, this, the rest of it is easy. There is nothing too fancy in here that you need to be worried about. It's, pretty straightforward when it comes to Mahmuzul Fa, right? Um, let's see if you have few more examples that can be, um, no, this one I can. What do you think this word is? Is this word, if I asked you where this word is coming from, it is again Mahmuzul Fa along with Nakis. It is Nakis as well, right? Motolullam, as right? It is a combination again. And that just, Mahmuzul Fa, and this is, Abaya Ba. You should be, familiar with, at least, be able to tell that there is, the first root letter is a weak letter. Why was I trying to show this one? Then let me see if I have anything. Okay. So no, is this no this one? One second, and let me just take you to a surah. Okay, okay. What is this word? Ma'kul, maf'ul. Very good job. Now this is super duper easy for you guys, right? This is a maf'ul, and this is coming from your mahmuz itself, right? So let me show you something else. If I find here, uh, do you see any mahmuzul fa in this surah, Suratul Asr? Ayah number 3, Sister Faiza has found mahmuzul fa, which was word amanu, right? Amanu. So it was amanu. But what happened to your Hamza? Your Hamza got changed into alif because there were two Hamzas together. It The second Hamza, which was sakin, took the it did not take anything from the first letter. It's just, just got changed into alif. Just it got changed into alif. The thing is that it got changed into alif. There is a ibdal that happened. There is a badal that happened. There is ibdal of Hamza into Alif in word Amanu, right? And this is because, the first letter has a fatha. So the letter that goes with fatha is Alif. So it got changed into Alif. Let's see here. Um, do you see any Mahmuz in Suratul Humaza? Read quickly and see. Kalla is not, kalla is a harf, and it is no, not mu'sada. Very good job. Mu'sada. And do you remember? Can you tell me the family? Mu'sadatun, family 4, family 4, and it is mazid fihi. Very good job. Yes, it is your mahmuzul fa is in mazid fihi, family 4. Very good way to classify it. And if I ask you the word musadun is going to be maf'ulun or fa'ilun. It's going to be your ism maf'ul. Second letter is with a fatha. Now there is a word akhlada. Aqlada is not Mahmuz, right? This Hamzatul Qata is the Hamzatul Qata of the family, right? It is a Hamzatul Qata of the family four, right? It's not that Hamza. Um, do you see here in Suratul Fil, the whole surah now, any Mahmuz, any Mahmuzul Fa, or Mahmuzul, actually Mahmuzul Ain, or Mahmuz, just Mahmuz, okay? So, Kalada Tara, very good job. Very good job. Here, Tara. So, this one we already did. Cool, we did already. So, in the rest of the surah, the word Tara was Ra, Hamza, Ya, which was Mahmuzul Ain, Mahmuzul Ain. So here you just learned what happened to the Hamza, right? Hamza gave its haraka to the letter before, and it is permissible for it. It is actually it is wajib in case of af'al of ra'a and ara, that it gets its haraka to the letter before and gets itself dropped. Okay, is this clear to all of you that how this happened, how this change happened? Alhamdulillah. Um, okay. Anything here in Surah Quraysh? Ilafi Quraysh, Ilafi Quraysh. The first ayah, Sister Faiza is saying the first ayah, and in the first ayah, if I will put your rules in numbers. I'm going to give them a number. It is the rule number 2, right? It is the rule number 2. There are two, or actually it is the rule number 1 comes, you can say that this is the rule number 1 that we have learned, where Hamza, Lam, Fa are the root letters, right? Hamza, Lam, Fa are the root letters, and there is a kasra on the letter before. There's a kasra on the letter before, like Iman, Iman. It happened, it is now changed into Elaf. Just like Iman, Hamza was changed into Ya. Again in Elaf, Hamza got changed into Ya. Can you all see this? Okay, were you able to figure this out? Alhamdulillah. And that same thing, Amanahum, there is a badal, right? Again in Amana, there is again a badal. Your Hamza is changed into Alif. Here your Hamza got changed into Ya according to the rule of badal. Um, you're seeing here, there is a Hamza there, but we will talk about this one later um, because of the letter Ya being there as well. So with that, I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You can use, your mahmouz can be seen in mazid fihi families, and for the most part you can very easily conjugate them. uh, do you think we need to go over them? What do you think, or we are good with that? We can just move on to the next topic. What do you think? Let me just stop the recording, and then I can ask you this question. uh, Quickly do it. Okay, we need practice. Please, okay. Okay, inshallah, we will practice it, and inshallah ta'ala, we'll make sure that we just 10 minutes of practice, and then just like we do in our recaps, and then we'll continue with the next topic, inshallah. Okay. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.